watch everything that is happening here, don't forget to go and watch over on CROOZE TV, courtesy of Creative Dictum Media. We are here up to 11 a.m. talking about the Supreme Court. Should the number of justices be increased, or it has nothing to do with the backlog that is happening in the lower courts? With me in studio is Counsel Wenje Dos Dedit, who is a lawyer. Asimwebanja's case is among young adults. The official event took place in Rakai, where the scourge claimed thousands in the early 80s and 90s. It was scary. Us who were born in the 90s, we know what it means. We heard of news of our age mates dying in the 90s because of HIV. Families were wiped out because of HIV. And it is important we resound the message of abstinence, using of protection, and being faithful. Please go and test. Now, the question is, will you test on each encounter with every person that you're going to have sex with? It's important that you abstain or use protection. That's the only way out. Or stick to one partner. That's the only way we can fight this very deadly disease, HIV. Uganda threatens to drop all banks holding on PDM funds, as Prime Minister Robin Anabanja urged the banks to release the money to allow government meet its objectives there. Police in Mbara are holding 2 men on allegations of stealing dead bodies from the Mbara Regional Referral Hospital. That's a very bizarre story. How people go to the mortuary and steal bodies, not for cadavers, but for whichever reason, and they're not even related to the disease.
If people can have sex with dead bodies, why not steal them?
Okay, that's something that we must understand. The executive finally responded to the concerns raised by the leader of opposition in parliament over human rights abuses. Police reported the next of kin of this person did not cooperate with police, and with some individuals declining to make statements, as other cases were never reported to police. So that's a developing story in parliament. The question is, will the members go back, or the boycott will still be on? Government bans public ambulances from transporting corpses. This was during the handover of 116 Type B ambulances at the various constituencies in the country at the Ministry headquarters in Kampala. Embattled former Netball Federation President Sarah Chitio Babidie was remanded to Rizira prison but later granted bail on charges of fraud over allegedly false accountability of 186 billion. Now, the first son, General Mhozi Kainerugaba, deploys the Special Forces Command to repair roads in Kampala. We'll see how that will be and how it will work. Now, for our topic of discussion this morning, the Parliament passed the Judicature Amendment Bill 2023, rejecting a proposal to increase the number of Supreme Court justices from 11 to 21, saying that this will not cater for the cries on the case backlog that is happening in the lower courts. Let me have them say hello to you before we get into a topic of discussion. Good morning, Counsel Wenje, and welcome to the Big Set.
The pleasure is mine. I want to start off by speaking to the fact that we are not happy as the members of the National Revolution for the Restoration of Uganda, NARU, of which I'm the president, about the rampant cases of MK supporters who drive cars with sealed number plates, and we call upon the traffic officers to rein in on them because they are not above the law. I had once complained to the RCC here, but he seems to be indifferent, or he fears the first son. So I want to encourage him again to come to his conscience and rein in on them. And then I also want to comment on the high numbers of street children in our city here. I don't know what the cause is, but
the last time you told us about these street children, you said it's a sign of development. So
I think it is a sign, but also it is a disadvantage. It It needs to be checked either there's a breakdown in our societies, in the families. Where are their parents? Where do they spend nights and days? What do they eat? And where do they get what they eat? And I think on the overall,
I think we need actually to investigate because there were street children some years back. These street children have grown and become street men and street women, and they have married among themselves. So one of the sources could be in vitro.
Yeah, it could be because of the aftermath of the relationships in the streets, which I highly doubt. I highly doubt.
People are being more stressed by the economic stress of the country, and the only solution they have is to go to the streets.
Okay, welcome, Council Bwenje. Yes, Mr. Peter Mpaka, good morning and welcome to the Big Say.
Thank you, SJ. And big thanks to our listeners who are tuning in and listening in to this wonderful program. I welcome you all. And for me, my one comment or two is about the SFC being everywhere. I don't understand what's happening with our country.
But now I don't understand that argument.
Yes.
If the SFC is going to deal with the menace of bad roads in Kampala or across the entire country, if they have what it takes to just deliver, it doesn't matter who is doing it. All that we want is clean roads.
You see, the question to me or the argument should be, will they do a good job? Me, all I'm waiting for is for them to fail to do a good job on time.
For me,
credit to them from the onset of each and everything. They are literally doing similar quantities of work at a quarter the price of what was originally.
I think that is true.
And what is KCC doing? What is
that could be a debate of another day. But
what
is important?
I think we should debate next weekend.
Yes,
we should, so that we dig deeper into it. We get all the details. We don't just speculate and misguide.
So what is KCC going to use with the money for the maintenance of roads? They are going to squander it.
Yeah, for me, actually, for me, the big issue is the militarization of social service delivery in Uganda and the duplication of roles that ends up burdening us a lot because you have duplication of roles under the ministry of the presidency through RDCs and whatever. You have duplications of roles now in SFC, building stadiums, working on potholes. Now they are even going to come and start burying us, building our graves. I think we should separate and service delivery.
The next step is to see the entire Kuren's team being made up of soldiers.
But that
like it's happening with netball. It's already happening with netball association. The president of netball association was arrested and replaced with the former spokesperson of the UPDF, who doesn't know anything about netball.
No,
it's already happening.
He was elected. They did not appoint him.
Let's hit a short bump. I'll be right back. Good morning.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
The only reason other radio stations exist is because they want to be.
The Cruise Momo code 573202 to get your tickets now at just 50k or reserve a VVIP table for 8 at only 800k. Don't wait because tickets are selling out. For bookings, call 0706 912 912. Together, let's make December 9th, 2023 a night to remember. See you there. The Cindy Ultimate Experience is powered by Western Uganda's biggest radio, 91.2 CROOZE FM.
Let's go.
It's better than karaoke. No marks, no pressure. Simply enjoy the sing-along on Western Uganda's biggest radio. 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music, great friends.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music. Great friends.
Great friends.
We are back. It's 25 minutes past 9 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music. Great friends. It's the Big Seat. My name is Wesige Banyaji. The lawyers in here are already... Okay. Our topic of discussion is... the topic of discussion is already on our social media handles. 912 CROOZE FM on X and 91.2 CROOZE FM on Facebook. But it's important that I remind you, CROOZE FM is bringing you a very ultimate experience on the 9th of December. There at Las Vegas Hotel, the King herself, Cinderella, will be in the city to celebrate the 12 years of Western Uganda's biggest radio. Now, I'm calling upon all Abanyambara and everyone that loves a good experience. Please make it up to go for the Cindy experience on the 9th of December. All this is courtesy of Western Uganda's biggest radio station. Now, a table of 8 is 800,000 and a ticket for all VIP is 50,000 shillings. With me in studio is Counsel Bwenje Dels Didi, who is a lawyer. We are now joined by Counsel Isaac Kubarije, who is a lawyer. Simwe Banjizi, who is a law student, but he belongs to the National Resistance Movement and MK Project. Mr. Peter Mpaka is a member of the National Unity Platform. I want to thank you, gentlemen, for joining us for the particular edition of The Big Seat. You can contribute to the show by way of sending texts on our social media platform. Later on, I will allow you to call in and join the conversation on 752912912 and 780912910. Councillor Barije, good morning. And my question straight away is, don't we need an increase of Supreme Court justices?
Good morning, our dear listeners. My name is Isaac Barije from the Tajirian Company Advocates. I'm really glad to be here today. Responding to the question by Mr. Banyaji, I believe that this time round the Parliament of Uganda has taken its stand to put the nation in check. One, it looked at the consequences of increasing the number of justices of the Court of Appeal and Supreme Court. And for me, I concur with the decision of Parliament, the stand of Parliament, that it's unnecessary to increase the number of Supreme Court justices. I don't know whether this is the right time to delve into the reasons as to why.
Yes, you can. If you think, why not? Because if at all the issue has been lack of quorum on some sittings of the Supreme Court because some of the justices are indisposed and cases have to be adjourned, how about now we increase the number of justices so that in case of any mishaps, quorum is constituted?
Thank you so much. The issue of number of justices is not the problem. If we are to take a look at the number of Supreme Court justices in the Supreme Court of the United States, there are 9 of them. If you look at the Supreme Court of the UK, there are 12 of them. So I don't think that Uganda's Supreme Court is more busy than theirs. So the issue of quorum can be addressed by checking on the behavior of the Supreme Court justices. One, let's look at the reasons as to why they are not available. Why are they always indisposed? that's a matter that can be checked or can be regulated. How? One, they can regulate on the number of their months on which they are on leave. And two, the appointing authority, before appointing someone, they should look at their health background. You should not appoint someone who is always going to fall sick or who is prone to sickness. Now that is a challenge that can be addressed through appointing the right people and through looking at their manner of conducting business. There are people who are just naturally busy, and also they should also reduce the number of workshops. You find that they are indisposed because they are attending a certain workshop somewhere, which is unnecessary. Uganda has one of the best justices in East Africa, if not Africa. If you look at the decisions that have been passed by the Supreme Court of Uganda, by the Court of Appeal of Uganda, these have laid a foundation on which many countries are borrowing the principles of law. So the quality of justices that we have in Uganda is okay, but how they conduct their business is the problem. Increasing the number will not cure that, because in the US they have 9, in the UK they have 12. So the number of justices is not the problem. And let's look at the consequences. Parliament is doing what it failed to do for itself. We have about 550 MPs who are that's an unnecessary number, but they have gotten the wisdom to know that increasing the number of justices of the Supreme Court and Court of Appeal will have an economic implication on the nation. Yes.
So you think that they should start with their own number before they reach out on the number of the Supreme Court?
No. Actually, what I'm saying is they should have the same wisdom in conducting their own affairs.
Do you expect them to legislate against themselves? Because now reducing the number of members of parliament would mean that the person that votes in support of such a motion could be affected negatively by passing of an amendment that would reduce members of parliament.
Numbers are about political will. What is the political will?
Okay.
What he's trying to put across, Vanyaji and our dear listeners, is that's the reason as to why he's insisting on that key word, take home wisdom. Because if you have the brains, you have the wisdom, you put your country first. You don't put your interests first. And honestly speaking, the way he's saying, we have very many departments that are understaffed. Peter Mpaka here is a medical practitioner. When you go to our health facilities, here in Mbara Referral Hospital, the cancer department that is in charge of these young vulnerable babies and other people, some of the nurses they have are being paid by well-wishers. They are not on government payroll. So when he talks of wisdom, and that's the question that we should be asking, these checks and balances of government are the three arms of government fully checking each other. Because when you look at parliament, they literally get away with each and everything that they want. Look at their benefits. Look at the money that goes into the commission. We spend over 2-point-something billion Ugandan shillings every day, whether it's a public holiday or not, on parliament. Are we getting value for our money? To supplement on what he was saying, on the issue of the justices of the Supreme Court, 11 are more than enough. That's being selfish. Increasing the ones of the Court of Appeal, that doubles as the Constitutional Court as well, to 35, I would say it's also not called for right now, because much as they are talking about these regional courts of appeal, they have not yet been built. Here in Imbara, where the one of Western Uganda is supposed to be, it took about 4 or 5 years. These guys had even refused to give a government agency, government entity, land that belongs to government. Mbara City Council, they refused to pass a resolution to allocate them land. Mbara District, same thing. Kamukuzi fighting Sijui, this belongs to the district, this belongs to Mbara District. But it's all government land. Up to the time when the area MP, Dr. Robert Mwesgwarkari, intervened, they are going to put it at Kachika, where the division offices are. But it was also a struggle. He had to threaten some of the councillors. They didn't want to pass a resolution. And when you look at the benefits that we would have as a region, because whoever has... No, I'm telling you facts. You are a lawyer. How much money do you spend when you have a case to attend in Kampala and your clients? It's a lot of money. So some of these things we should be looking at, even increasing the number of chief magistrates that we have, increasing the number of magistrate courts in this country, so that people don't have to move from far to get these services, because an injustice to one is an injustice to all.
Thank you, Banduzi. Let me bring in Council Bwenze. Help us say create a relationship between the number of personnel in the judiciary to dispensation of to dispensing justice, to the rate of dispensing justice, because we are imagining the case backlog, even on the lower courts, is created because one circuit is supposed to deal with volumes of cases, you know. How about now trying to create different divisions of different units? For example, if we had a situation where every division of a district has a magistrate court. Yes, for the interest of dispensing justice, because it's surface delivery eventually.
First, I understand your point.
Yes.
But there's no relationship at all between the number of judges on the Supreme Court or the number of justices, for that matter, and the speed delivery of justice. Although the Supreme Court is very important to our nation as an emerging democracy, being the highest court of appeal under Article 132 of the Constitution. So we now see the problem with the Supreme Court, no matter the number of justices there, is that it is politicized a lot. If you remember what happened in the presidential election petition, there was chaos there. There was chaos. And these are people who are old, they are in their ages of 55, 60, but no matter the number of theirs, they are usually sick because they are old, they're usually out of the country.
Actually, even the retirement should be brought down from
70, because a 70-year-old judge who barely has time for his own self or even her own self.
In the US, we had, it was Justice Scholar something.
Yes.
The one of Italian descent. There was one, the lady and the gentleman died almost in their 90s and they were still serving on the bench.
Yes, but what is their level of productivity? How many judgments or decisions do they churn per month? So it's not just about being there. You are there to make decisions.
That nullifies the aspect of age, because we know in other jurisdictions, Supreme Court justices are actually way older. They're in their 90s and 80s. And we know that there is a relation.
70.
No, in the US, there are serving justices of the Supreme Court that are almost 90 because they, as you serve to death.
Yes, but what help are they if they do not give judgments in time? See, just backlog. Now, a case is said to be backlogged if it has spent 2 years in the system without a decision being made on it, a final decision. And in Uganda, we have around maybe, I think, 44,000 cases still pending. They have never been heard. There has never even been a decision. So I think the focus should be more on the magistrates' courts, because for instance, the whole of Isinjiro has 2 magistrates. Two. There's no one from Bukanga, because of course I know there are vacant vacant positions in Bukanga.
And are they all grade 1 magistrates?
No, there's a chief, but they are all the same. It's a G1 and chief. There's no judge there, of course. So I think we need an increase in the number of what? And maybe an increase in the number of judges in acting capacity, although so that one has an issue. Because the moment you become an acting judge, it means you are forced to perform as per the wishes of your appointer, so that you get a substantive appointment. And of course, the Constitutional Court has stated that it's not something that is good for our state as an independent country. So I think I agree in part with the decision of Parliament, but on the other hand, I agree with the Honorable Mao that that at the number of justices being actually being at 11, I think it's not enough. Of course, I don't want us to compare ourselves with the UK and the US because we are an independent republic. We have our own needs as a state. So no matter the number of magistrates, we also need judges up there.
Help the
Because
listener
you see,
understand.
the law is as the Supreme Court has stated it to be. And we need the Supreme Court to make very important decisions on matters of law, matters of national or of great public importance. So depending on the age of those people up there, of the judges, and the fact that the president of the country, I think he has a habit of interfering in the decisions they make. I think we need young judges there, and we also need very resilient judges who are ready to oppose the orders of the president of
We're
Uganda.
going to take a very short breather, but when we come back, it's majorly taking the discussion away from just the number of Supreme Court justices to the quality of judiciary that we have. Because now the issue is, if the law says you can be appointed as a High Court justice after serving on the bar for about 10 years or something, 10 years, why not just appoint young judges? Like Bwenje is saying, who are these Gada judges that we keep hearing about? After the breather, Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 CROOZE FM. Let's be right back.
It's tough, it's bold, it's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
The only way to make sure that it's a good day,
Yeah, bring it on.
is by tuning in to 91.2 CROOZE FM.
91.2 CROOZE FM.
Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
Powered by Western Uganda's biggest radio, 91.2 CROOZE FM.
Music, please.
More music.
The music won't stop. 91.2 CROOZE FM.
Variety of music.
Great music, great friends. It's tough, it's bold, it's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music,
Great music.
great friends.
Great friends.
15 minutes to the top of the hour on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music, great friends. Good morning. My name is Wesiga Banyaji. Right here on plot 12, Mutilen, Mara City, the land of milk and honey. The topic of discussion this morning is on the judiciary. Should we have an increase on the number of Supreme Court justices, or it's unnecessary? The issue is on the lower courts. With me in studio is Counsel Isaac Barije, who has not been very clear. We are sorry for those that didn't hear him clearly. We've rectified that. We have Mr. Simwe Banjazi, who is a learning lawyer and a member of the National Resistance Movement. Counsel Bwenje Deus Didit, regular big seater, and Mr. Peter Mpaka, regular big seater. They belong to the National Unity Platform. The last I checked, Counsel Bwenje was expelled from the NUP, and he started his own party. We shall get into that later. But for the feedback, send me messages on 912 CROOZE FM on X and 91.2 CROOZE FM on Facebook. CROOZE TV is where we are for the visuals. Don't forget, all roads in the country. If at all you can get from Kampala to come to Mbarara, the experience, the CROOZE FM Ultimate Experience is happening at Las Vegas Hotel. A table of 8 for 800,000 and 50,000. It's an all VIP access show. So don't worry, you'll not stand, you'll not get fatigued. It's all treatment of niceness. Let me get to the opposition here in studio. And maybe real quick is whether there is something that the technocrats are not telling us. Is the issue about the numbers or the incompetence of some of these judges? Peter.
Over the 37 years that the NRM has led this country, I think one thing that clearly stands out is that the NRM has turned our culture and our methods of doing things into an analogy of putting the cart before the donkey, and basically majoring on the minors and minoring on the majors. And I think even the panelists that have been here have all tried to voice this. Now, in 2008, and by the I'm discussing from a peasantry position because
you're not alone. You're the old man
yes,
out.
Yes, I'm the old man out.
Yeah.
You are a learning lawyer, he's a learning lawyer, and these are substantive counsels. So for me, ndagamba nk'omuntu wabulizo okumbireba like
right because all judicial power comes from him as the people.
Okay. So in 2008, Parliament passed the Judicature Amendment 2008, and in that they approved to raise the number of Supreme Court justices to 11. But when you check on the bench, officially the people who are on the bench, they are 9. So 2008, this is 2023, over 15 years, we have failed to fulfill that amendment. 2 people are still missing on bench. And we are passing an amendment to increase to a new number, yet even the other number we have entertained it. When you go to the Court of Appeal, the Constitutional Court, I think they passed to increase to 15. And when you check on the bench of the Constitutional Court, I think up to today, officially on the bench, they are 12. So 3 in a period of 15 years have not been identified, promoted, and put into those offices. And Mao comes saying he wants us to increase from the current 15 to 56. And Parliament has said, now for this one, we are going to add you 20. From 15 to 35.
About
to 35.
That.
Yet we still demand from 2008 an additional 3. That's why I'm saying that Uganda, the system of the NRM, is just a system of ghost lies, ghost promises, and things can never be done the way they are supposed to be. Now, to me, a peasant, do I have confidence in this judiciary of Council Wenje and Council Barije and all of you here? When you see people, even leave alone the case backlog, do we really get justice when we, with all this entanglement of corruption and entanglement of bias and entanglement of state house behind handedness? Because for me, I'm saying this. Actually, I want to zero on the Supreme Court and the treatment that has been meted on one judge, Esther Chisache, who gave a dissenting judgment. And the other following stories of witchcraft, you heard how a certain woman was arrested. No, because these are things in the third arm of government in this country. You had a woman you had a black cavera in the compound of the Chief Justice. She was even convicted. And so when we hear all these stories, and then we see how Chief Justice, there's a statement Council Barija has said that has, aroused my doubt. He said Uganda has, I think, the wisest judges in Africa.
Yes.
And I'm like, no.
Hey.
Because how can we have the best of wisdom, the cream of wisdom, and we have the administration of the Supreme Court in the kind of picture that it is today? where you have judges who simply don't come to office because they are scared of witchcraft. That I don't want to jump certain things to my entrance. You hear all these things happening in this very sensitive arm of government. So for me, you had raised a concern on quality. I think it is something that we need to check. If there are better people that can be promoted from lower courts, I think it would be wise that they be brought up. But the current picture that we see on the bench, it is wanting. And the peasants, the common people, I can tell you, as we don't have confidence in police, so we even don't have confidence in the current judicial system.
Nice deliberation, Peter Mpaka. No, you can.
The decision of Parliament to refuse to increase the number of the Supreme Court justices is actually a vote of no confidence in the court itself. That even if we raise you up to 100, there's nothing much you are doing. You are just engaged in acrimony, bitterness, competition for power, and you are just stooges of the president. So there's see, when a Supreme Court justice, and I think the most experienced there, is not getting justice from the court itself.
Yes.
Because power is being switched off when she's about to give her decision, and she's being handled as if she's a lumpen or a criminal. Then we don't have any faith there. And I think it also speaks to the fact that the character of our Chief Justice of Uganda, I think, is wanting. There are some questions which
there's some debate we had last week here on the quality of the leader in Parliament. It's questionable of the Chief Justice.
I mean, he looks more of a politician than a judge.
Yes. I think we should be honest. We know what we saw in Bat Katorebe. We know what we saw in Wako Ambuzi. For those of us who have been long enough to see, we know who Ogola was. At least Benjamin Odochi, even when there was, but at least
one member of Parliament from Ashori say that he saw the Chief Justice telling the people of Acholi not to oppose the government of the day in exchange for either infrastructure and so forth. It's I think he's
but if it's this man had been counsel for the president and in NRM cases, what do you expect? This man served in the CA with an affiliation of the movement.
That's not bad, because you see, being appointed by the president is not a license for you to support the president. You swear an oath,
yes,
a judicial oath. So irrespective of who your appointer is, you owe a duty to the people of Uganda, not to the person who appointed you. So I think the Chief Justice had better come to his conscience and realize that Uganda is far much bigger than the person who appointed him.
Okay, thank you. Let me bring in Bandizi here. Bandizi, there are people that have served the bar for a very long time. You know, there is this man who has been a lawyer for years, and you think their wisdom should be, picked on to serve on the bench, but they never. But we know of people that have defended the NRM. We know a court in the Court of Appeal, a justice in the Court of Appeal that was in Biencha, Oscar Chika here, has been NRM counsel for the longest I've known. He's serving in the constitutional and courts of appeal. But there are people that have served diligently in the legal sector, but they have never been appointed to the bench. And those that have an affiliation to the NRM easily get to be pitched by the president. Isn't that contributing to the quality of judiciary that we have?
Braga and our dear listeners, you see, there are some key things that we need to look at critically. And credit to him, he gave us a perfect preamble. Wisdom. What does wisdom entail if you're in public service? You must be a patriot. You put the interests of the country, the people that you're serving, at the forefront of each and everything. even at the forefront of the appointing authority, at the forefront of your selfish personal interests. Honestly speaking, I'm NRM, yes. But the fact remains that times, irrespective of the good man that the Chief Justice is, he has fallen short of glory. Sometimes we've seen the outbursts that he makes and retracts them and makes apologies.
Yes, about
In the
the
case
Kabaka.
of like, Kabaka.
Let's take a break. I'm going to give you an opportunity when we come back after the break. Good morning.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
My station.
My music.
The radio station other radio stations listen to.
Yeah.
91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
And accommodation is very affordable, and so are our special cuisines for daily lunch and any kind of party, spacious conference facilities, a swimming pool, sauna, gym, massage, and a professional unisex salon. Our expansive, beautiful gardens are the perfect backdrop for your memorable gatherings, be it a party, ceremony, or team building event. For this festive season, enjoy 20% discount on accommodation for the month of December. This offer is valid for reservations made between now and the 15th of November. For bookings and reservations, our email is reservations@igongo.co.ug, or you could call us on 0392 722 828 or 0752 008 724. Don't miss your chance to create cherished memories and experiences that will last a lifetime. Igongo Country Hotel and Country Center, where the future meets the past.
Sunday Blues.
There's only you in my life.
Sunday Blues.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. It's true.
Sunday Blues.
Stuck on you. Got this feeling down deep in my soul that I just can't lose. Guess I'm on my way.
Sunday Blues.
Tell that someone that you love just what you're thinking of. If tomorrow never comes.
Sunday Blues.
Every Sunday.
On 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends. Jazz Junction. Jazz Junction. On 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music. Great friends. Jazz Junction. Jazz Junction on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music, great friends. Our music, our station, our region. It's Western Uganda's biggest radio.
Hit us up on www.cruisefm.com or connect to us on our Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram at 912 Cruise FM and join in on the discussion.
91.2 Cruise FM. Great music, great friends.
This is the top of the hour.
It's tough, it's bold, it's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music, great friends.
Great friends.
We are back. It's 2 minutes past 10 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music, great friends. My name is Wesley Banyaji. I'm with Isaac Badije, who is a lawyer. Gwenje Dels Dede, who is a lawyer. And Peter Mpaka, he belongs to the National Unity Platform, and Asima Banjazi, who belongs to the NRM. Our topic of discussion this morning is on the state of the judiciary, with interest on the increase of the number of Supreme Court justices. But we're going to look at it a bit in a very holistic way. What is the quality of judiciary that we have? What is the problem? What is with the case backlog? And everything that has to do with the judiciary. Give us feedback on our social media platforms. But also, you can call in on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. Now, whatever is on the mouth of everyone is what is happening on the 9th of December, where we are going for the ultimate experience. Cruise FM is giving back, so come through at Las Vegas Hotel as the King herself, Cinderella, will be entertaining all of us in our all VIP treatment. 50,000 for VIP and 800,000 for a table of 8. Please come and let's enjoy. You'll get to meet everyone, and it's a very good time to just bring family and everyone that you think loves good music and good entertainment. And it's interesting here. We are catching up on so much because the interest in how can we have a better judiciary. Before we went for a break, we had Asima Banjazi giving us of what he thinks should be right. Asima.
Thank you. I'll start from top to bottom, much as under normal circumstances, or if everything was okay.
Yes, you were talking about the quality of Chief Justice.
Me, I still concur with our parliament. 11 justices of the Supreme Court are more than enough. Why? How many cases do they handle in a year? They are limited. The backlog we have at the level of Court of Appeal and Constitutional, they are over 5,000. And the lower you go, they keep on increasing. So I concur with.
But you who supports the status quo, what is the problem? What is the problem with appointing more judges?
The problem is our country, we've lost it. That sense of direction. We no longer have wisdom. When you look
but when your position is saying let's have a revamp, you say no.
Banyaji, these guys also have their personal issues. That's the reason as to why Ugandans are hesitant to entrust to them the power. The Ugandans are saying better the devil that you know than the one that you don't, than an angel that you're yet to see.
We are talking about issues.
We
are talking about issues of national importance and not personal issues.
Okay, let's allow him.
Exactly enough, all of us here, whether opposition or NRM, even these guys in the system, we agree. We need to increase the number of G1s.
G2s were literally
and the chief magistrates, yes, because they handle the biggest bulk. And the fact that the High Court has original jurisdiction over each and everything, we also need to increase them. Okay? Then, after that, the way we've said we have a critical over 5,000 cases in the Court of Appeal and Constitution, it's hell a lot. and it needs to be addressed.
But
and
the
that's the
executive
reason
will
as
tell you there is no money to increase
Mane
this,
Banyajimi, that narrative, much as I'm NRI, I no longer agree with it. It's a question of putting our money where it's supposed to be. An injustice to one is an injustice to all. You guys who have been to court, in my life I had never been to court. It's only this year that I've been there. When you go there and see the drama, these guys, and you see the drama, the drama there, it's hell too much. Old people moving from Buweju, wherever, coming here, services should be brought to them. You find someone has been moving to court for the last 10 years. How much money have they lost? These are the critical issues that we should be addressing. And that's the reason as to why we are all saying, even our parliament is sleeping. That's why Isaac is saying, before you tell us that the number of the staff to judiciary are increasing rapidly, it will affect our expenditure. Can you first address your issue? Or can we rate? When it comes to checks and balances, is our system working? It's not. Because apparently, Parliament right now, no one checks it. Literally. The executive doesn't, the judiciary doesn't, but Parliament to some extent actually only checks the judiciary, because even the executive, to what extent? We've seen it a number of times because of NRM having the majority. Whatever goes through SEC, the topmost organ of NRM cabinet, and is proposed in Parliament, chances are it will pass. The other day, likely enough, you had said at the end of our submissions, we shall talk about the statement that was made by General Mhoz. When a new person is missing and he or she allegedly has not been arrested with due process, it doesn't matter whether I'm DP or NRM. I should condone it.
You should condemn it.
We should condemn it. If
and you know why?
Let me.
It is going to be you.
Yeah.
And that's the point I'm trying to put across.
Conclusively.
So if he's a criminal or allegedly, because under the presumption of innocence, Article 28, Clause 3, what does it say? Everyone is presumed innocent till he or she has been proven guilty, or when that very person pleads guilty. So before then, you treat him or her as if they are innocent, produce them within court within 48 hours, let them apply for bail, let the court have the discretion to decide whether they should be awarded bail or not, without interference from other state actors. And that's what we are calling for and demanding for.
There is something that I want to engage Council Barigi about. The onlookers look at, because judges are very respected people, lawyers are highly respected people, especially knowing that majority of Ugandans do not know or have this information that these people have. But you see what is happening in the judiciary, you see the quality of judgment, you see the entire process, you see how the judiciary has been used for politics. And people get to wonder whether it's even the team to trust with the most important element of life, justice. Is this the kind of judiciary that we should have an increase in budgets with the kind of stuff that they're giving us?
Thank you so much, Mr. Banyaji. You see, being a Ugandan is a full-time job. And Uganda is almost a theater of comedy. And at one point, every citizen, regardless of the position, you'll act your role as a clown. So if you find a Chief Justice maybe doing something that is really uncalled for, he's being a Ugandan. Let's look at how even his way of the way they appoint justices. These are political appointees. You do not expect him ordinarily.
Then what is the job of the Judicial Service Commission, if at all it's just to have anyone to serve the bench?
Now, who appoints the members of the Judicial Service Commission? You see, you cannot separate the politics of Uganda from the judiciary. They are all intertwined. But yes, it's very absurd, but that's how Uganda is since time of independence. Let's look at the various political decisions that we have had as a country. I was watching an interview of Professor Kanyihamba, where he was, of course, telling us what transpired during that time of the election petition number 1 of 2006 of Dr. Kizza Besigye versus Yoweri Museveni and another.
And the EC, yes.
Where he was talking about, even in his book, The Blessing and Joy of Being Who You Are, he mentions the midnight cause and how the decision came to shift. Initially, majority of the justices were siding with Dr. Kizza Besigye. Of course, they were going to nullify the election, but of course they received threats, and of course, being human beings and knowing the consequences, the aftermath of their would-be decision, they saw that it would not actually be necessary to nullify the decision. So they succumbed to the pressure. Of course, there were threats to their lives, as Professor Kanyihamba also states. There were threats to their lives. But the three that took the decision, the firm decision, to side with the what...
quote unquote, the people of Uganda.
The people of Uganda. Up now, even now they are suffering, but of course that's the price they decided to pay. Now, when you look at the level of dedication of the justices then and now,
yes,
it's different. But the quality, save for the political cases.
But I think isn't that across the board? Because even if you went to gauge the quality of members of parliament, even if you judge the quality of lawyers, the people that we had in Ben Wacha, in Wapakabulo, in Francis Seyu, and you made to Odochi, and now
Mr. Banyaji, you see,
you now have Chabadidi.
Mr. Banyaji, Mr. Banyaji, no. Mr. Banyaji. You see, I love these movies of zombies. They begin as a normal human being.
Yes.
In Uganda, where a case is concerning politics, even Professor Bwenje here knows. He has had these political cases, and the way they have always been treated. One, about the appointment of certain ministers. Two, about his political party. He knows that during that time when the subject matter is political, the justices become zombies. But when it's a matter of transactions, those are quality judges, quality justices. Let me tell you, Uganda has one of the best justices and judges Africa has ever seen. But when it becomes a question of politics now, that's where...
Who is the problem?
The problem, of course, is the government, is the executive, the president. That's the problem. Let's speak the truth. The president interferes with the judiciary, especially where matters are political. But where matters are transactional, where matters are commercial, and you see, these are the things that affect society. Let's leave alone the politics. We are only looking at politics, but we are living we are living matters that affect omuntu wa wansi on a daily land, family.
I want to
these are things that affect.
Let's allow him conclude.
Council Balije.
Let me conclude.
Yes.
Let me conclude. You see, we do not expect a perfect world, but we should give credit where it's due. The judiciary of Uganda performs, except where the matter becomes political. Yes,
I would.
Let's bring in Peter. Yes,
I would really want to disagree.
And remember, we are in a theater of comedy. Being a Ugandan is a full-time job. I want you to remember that. Even you yourself. Even you yourself.
The Ugandans will come in at some point.
Leka nkubuze ekibuuzo. Goro yayingidde omupiira gwayingidde mu katimba oba tegwayigiddemu? So do you award a goal because it was almost it was almost a goal. It was, no, we can't say that, especially in a principle of life called justice. Now you've said that we have an issue with political cases, and I agree with you that those are bad. But I want to give you cases of land grabbing. Commercial. Do you know that State House employees are the biggest land grabbers in Uganda? It is a fact. Yes. I am telling you that. Get it from me. Get it from me. That even the president himself is perturbed by the land grabbing by his staff. But do you know what happens? When the owners
those
of
are
the
allegations.
land, I've told you it is on record that even
not as a lawyer, but as a common person.
Okay. Have your way. Yes.
To ventilate his feelings.
Yes. So, and when these cases go to lower courts find the facts, hunt the truth, and give justice to the real owners of the land. But these people, because they are powerful, they claim to be connected to the Mohoz project. They are the ones who seal their number plates. They issue slates like you've been talking about, go to Court of Appeal. And Court of Appeal announce the other judgment and gives them the land. State House employees.
Let me say
so me, I'm telling.
I think there is a correlation to what he's saying.
I beg.
You should be because now he's saying a thorough investigation is conducted. A case is heard and determined.
Yes.
It's not new.
Yes.
For State House staff to call a magistrate or a judge that don't give that person bail.
But
yes.
No, but
it is known.
No,
yes.
bro.
And
whenever you create an allegation,
you must back it up.
Now let me give you a record. There is land just below here, Ntare School, belonging to Sam Alinitwe and Drafua Robert. You've heard of that case? It's been long in this land. A State House soldier came, just cordoned it off, demolished their houses, and took over the land. The lower courts investigated. The whole village gathered. The councils at Kamukuzi gathered. The councillors, they said, no, this can't happen. And the lower court said, no, the land belongs to Sam and Robert Idrafua. The soldier appealed. That's why when I hear Court of Appeal, I just know that is money. They are just going to pay them off and they will judge in favor of the offender.
And these are the justices that Marije is saying.
It is on record and I've given you a case.
Yes.
There's no law which says that a soldier can't go to court. And if a soldier goes to court, that he should not receive justice. So if a soldier has appealed to the Court of Appeal, it is not illegal for him to win the appeal. Yes. So he might have won on merit, not just because he's a soldier.
But also, can that answer the matter that it is easier to influence the justices of the Court of Appeal?
No.
You know how hard it is?
No, it's not easy.
My dear.
But you see, what the judges are told,
you even don't know who's going to handle your case.
What the judges are told.
But we know the panel. The panel is a known number of known people.
Number, but no.
No.
They can see three or
say that they are bribed, no, because I don't have any evidence. And I don't know what they are told.
But reports are made.
Yes, reports are
where the judiciary has been called corrupt.
Of course, I'm aware of the political question
doctrine
that the courts of law are not supposed to investigate or inquire into questions which are best suited for the executive and parliament. But also, we should ask ourselves, why do we have the Administration of Parliament Act of 1997? We have the Administration of the Judiciary Act of 2020, but we don't have the Administration of the Executive Act.
We don't.
So now, that should tell you that we are all tenants of the executive.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think it is time that the judges of Uganda stood up and lived to the requirements of their oath. You decide the case on merit, without mercy, without ill will, without favor.
But you recently saw a chief magistrate in Zimbabwe.
In Mitoma.
Was it Mitoma?
Yes.
And actually,
I was talking to her father.
Where she was screaming like a child.
Yes, you see. I was talking to her father, Councillor Dabanji. And he really seemed not even to have an idea of why she was arrested. And of course, she's still presumed innocent.
Yeah.
Yes.
But her conduct, literally.
No. A conduct is not a sentence. It's not even a conviction.
All right.
So we have to give our judges the benefit of doubt. We are here, but we hope that the decisions which they make are based on the law and evidence, not on the orders of a superior person. Okay. Because the judge must be independent and impartial.
Okay, we're stopping for break. When we come back, it will be the lifeline of the show. The telephone calls and the feedback on social media. Don't touch your dial.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. great music, great friends.
Great friends.
It's time to turn it up.
Turn it up.
Say what?
91.2.
91.2.
CROOZE FM. Great music, great friends.
Great friends.
Dust, sun, heat, and dirt can damage your skin, and it is important to give your skin the right protection. Following a triple skincare routine, cleansing, toning, and moisturizing is very important. Vaseline Petroleum Jelly gives your skin a waterproof barrier, helping your skin retain its moisture, giving it a natural, strong glow. That's the healing power of Vaseline.
Multi-talented!
Get ready for the biggest and first ever Cruise Ultimate experience of live band performance in Western Uganda by the legendary, the one and only, the king herself, Cindy Baby and her band at Las Vegas Gardens Hotel on 9th December 2023. To be a part of this unparalleled experience of the year, pay using the Cruise Momo code 573202 to get your tickets now at just 50K or reserve a VVIP table for 8 at only 800K. Don't wait because tickets are selling out. For bookings, call 0706 912 912. Together, let's make December 9th, 2023 a night to remember. See you there. The Cindy Ultimate Experience is powered by Western Uganda's biggest radio, 91.2 CROOZE FM.
It's about time.
Welcome to the Cool Club.
Oh, yeah.
91.2 CROOZE FM.
My station.
Great music,
My music.
great friends. It's tough, it's bold, it's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music, great friends.
Great friends.
Twenty-four minutes past 10 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 CROOZE FM, great music, great friends. My name is Wesige Banyaji. The topic of discussion this morning is centered on the judiciary. Are they doing the best that we wish them to do? It's a conversation that we're having this morning. It's now about time that we get to hear some feedback from you. Call us on 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. Call in right now and we get to hear from you. 0752-912-912 and 780-912-910. Don't forget, the 9th of December, we are going for the ultimate cruise experience at Las Vegas. Cruise has organized this event to, give back and try to engage and make you feel good and appreciate good entertainment. It's live band all the way, saxophonists, everything that you know about beautiful live entertainment is on the 9th of December at Las Vegas. Let's go and support CROOZE FM as we mark 12 years of being the best in Western Uganda. The Big Seat.
CROOZE FM.
Good morning.
Good morning too. This is James from Shema.
Yes, James.
My question is, yesterday we were celebrating the day for EDC. But what I'm asking, on the function there was no any important person like the Prime Minister. They were only the So what are you talking about that one?
My friend, we are talking about the judiciary on 0752912912 and 780912910. Call us and let's get to hear from you. 752912912 and 780912910. Give us feedback. Let's get to hear from you. On Facebook, I see a couple of messages that are coming in already, and I want to appreciate you so much. All of you that are sending these messages, keep them coming. I'll be able to read most of them. Derek Aime Tarema is saying you are along Ontario Road. Supreme Court justices should not be increased because what we have is the justices at the moment. They are in disagreement with their bosses. Everyone his or her jurisdictions or judgments. But once they don't go with the boss's opinion, they fall out in conflict with him. Matthias Major is saying, now let's also see the bill to increase constituencies being rejected as they rejected this bill that would have helped those innocent individuals, mainly on the opposition politicians, can have their appeals be heard that have been denied justice, especially during the time where human rights violence is on the rise. Musinguzi Onesimus, you're saying they should not be increased, they should, but rather decrease because their levels of corruption is gradually getting higher. Orishaba Nicholas, you're saying, I don't see why the Supreme Court justices should be increased, because even though they increase, the cases remain stagnant. Tuliam Siva Gordon, you're in Rohara Vocational Institute, you're saying, I think justice should not be increased because it's better to have fewer. Bwenje Hilary Amanya, you're saying, I think that they should reset the entire Supreme Court. Nwagava Edson, you're saying, even if they increase to 1,000, Ugandan courts are directed by order from President Museveni. You're listening from Kakoba, BSU. On 752-912-912-1780912-910. The big set.
Yes, what's going?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. What's your name and where calling from?
I was speaking with Christian Saja calling in for me.
Yes, Christian Saja. Good to hear from you.
Yes, I wanted to thank you for the program. Just I was here listening to you.
All right. Thank you, Christian Saja. All right. And most especially for those that were part of November Lab, we want to say thank you very much. It was a beautiful experience. It was good to meet so many of you. And see you next November. The big set. Hello, caller.
Hello, CROOZE FM.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to you.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Matthias from Ivanda University.
Yes, Matthias at Ivanda University.
First of all, I want to first put up a question.
Yes.
Who are to make the laws and who are to implement? Then after knowing that, and we should then consider those judges, they are also human beings. And a human being is a wanting animal. They will have to keep kale bamba kola ensalamu nabo ne bateekamu akantu okugira ngu hinde bali kwetaaga nk'abantu kandi hinde side eyi bakana bagwiramu. And now as Ugandans now, we should not condemn every one side. We should first condemn ourselves.
All right. Thank you so much for that feedback. The big set.
Hello.
Please turn down the volume of that radio.
Good morning, West.
Good morning. How are you?
Okay, this is Azen Bilos calling from Stabi Ivale in Ushenyi district.
Yes, please.
What I see, the judges shouldn't be blamed. But what should be blamed is the Constitution.
Sorry about that. They should not be blamed, rather, the Constitution. On 752-912-912-1780912-910. The big set.
Yes, Mr. Wesigewanaji.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. This is James Diguri Kutarba Kasari.
Yes, please.
Buzimazima nsimubuhereza bwanyu konka ababoyi no mu studio bagezaho kugamba je konka kandi bareke kushora president omushango abo ensonga abaramuzinde bo bino omushango mbwe bahurire president nguni munabagambira ngo bamurangire ngo yasinga bwo ntagira ngo baramuzinde bagamba ngo president nabagamba ngo bamurangire ekikuru abaramuzi bagendere bareke kuriya corruption babaha sente bazereke baca omushango nko kubarahire according to the oath. So bagendera oath ibasayiningire ibarahire bakwica na bibuli
yebari muno
bakore nk'abantu nko kubakwenda yebari munongo buhereza.
All right. On the big set, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, what's your name? On 752-912-912 and 780-912-912. So let me get about 2 calls and we get back to the panel before we call it a wrap. On 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. The big seat.
Yes, Bwana Wanyaji.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, what's your name and where you at?
I'm called Masias. I'm calling here in the Kazochurura. Yonka ndeba ntabaramuzi. Sako bineshunga konkogera kugira ngo president nabeteranira kandi kwakasha yakaruru abona nka president ya torine loko aba dominant bakuba karuru. Konganye ninja nti parliament ine kwindo mwiteka kugira ngo abaramuzi batorana abantu baburijo kugira ngo cyendeza kuba karuru. Ahani siba ro program.
All right, thank you. Let me end with this call this morning. The big set. Hello, caller.
Good morning, man.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay. Thanks for the program.
Thank you so much for catching it.
I don't have pretty much. I just want to thank you, but at the same time, I want the analyst to cast the analysis wide and also look at the wonderful things these people do in terms of criminal education, as well as the education of civil matters. On a daily basis, there is a case that is disposed in the commercial court, in the civil division, in the Court of Appeal, and in the Supreme Court on a daily basis. And I can tell you, if these people can go in a leave for at least 3 months, you cannot imagine the kind of disorder this society can have. Well, I like the moderation and I like the topic you set because it is one of the steps that improves the governance in our society. Thank you so much.
I want to appreciate you for taking time to call in this morning.
Yes, very fine, my brother.
All right. Very good to hear from. He sounds a person that he knows what he's talking about.
I disagree with him. You see, I'm not supposed to expect
Professor.
I'm not supposed to expect my child
Yes.
to thank me for paying her fees. It is my duty. So I owe a judge no duty at all to thank the judge for making a decision in court. It is her duty.
But your children should also be appreciative of the fact that you've gone a long way to provide for them.
No. Under Article 31(4) and 34(1), it is my duty to look after the children.
And West
there's no exception there.
Yeah.
So the job that the judges are paid to do, they should do it. And we don't have to.
What happens
our
when
role
they fail
is
to
to
do
pinpoint the weaknesses in the justice system of Uganda, not to applaud them for the good work they do, because they are
Give
paid
credit
for
where
the good
it's
work.
due.
You see,
I know.
Simple.
You are paid. You are already paid at the end of the month. That is couldn't enough.
All right, let's have
and West Jamia would want to educate the caller who said the president does not tell the judges to judge the way they judge. And I would want to remind him that there is a State House staff during the Chaguranyi election petition who filmed a convoy of the Supreme Court bench entering and leaving State House in the 11th hour of the night. What were they doing in State House at that time of the
But you
time?
see, the president is the fountain of power.
And what happened is that when that
but is
when
it
that
there?
video wait I finish my submission.
Is it there?
Wait,
that
and I finish.
dictated the team of Chagulanyi to have?
I would desire that you allow me educate our listeners that President Museveni.
Okay, let's allow him. I'll give you.
You see, I would want to educate our listeners to understand the kind of president that we have. You know, one time I put it on record that though President Museveni came out of the bush, he still employs bush tactics in governing this country. So, in the middle of the night, the Chief Justice, together with the other bench justices of the Supreme Court, were filmed leaving State House in the 11th hour of the night during a presidential election case that was ongoing. And when this came out to the public, this staff of State House was fired. He was chased away. He's now suffering, like they already talked about the other judges that have given dissenting.
But why would I be working in State House and I'm the same person working against myself?
You see,
for such,
you see, Westjay, there are people who have stayed true. There are people who have stayed true to their oath. There are people who have stayed true to their virtues. And I want to congratulate that soldier who gave us that piece of information.
Now he's going to die in whichever state. Bwenja, give us that information quickly.
No, I wanted to say that there's no law which forbids the CJ or the Chief Justice to visit the State House at any time of the day. What the question should be, what was he doing there?
Yes.
Okay, and that's what is so important. And of course,
could you help us speak what was in the judgment that they talked about that particular aspect? As Council Bwenja is referring to artificial intelligence.
I remember the Supreme Court said that it is not strange for the CJ as the head of the judiciary to go to State House and confirm.
As a legal scholar,
these are the things.
No, as a legal scholar, we've been told that circumstances upon which conduct is speaks of what the intention is. You see they can visit at any point, but why visit during an election petition?
And what's before council comes in, just something small. When we were young, you see, that's why I want to concur, though Bwenja disagreed, but I want to concur with that last caller. When we were young, we are told lawyers, judges don't go to bars. Judges don't go at night. They don't move at night. We're told those things. So that conduct that you're talking about is very important and very paramount for us to see the Chief Justice at the President's house, at the President's home, at Sham Nana Gwechero. It raised questions. That's why we even withdrew our cases.
But Council Barije, you should know where I come from. Our neighbor was a justice. But I can tell you, the honor that home had, I don't know whether it is still the case. Judges were held in high esteem. I don't know about now.
Mr. Banyaji.
Yes.
I'm a Christian.
Yes.
And Paul says that although everything is permissible, not everything is expedient. So sometimes it requires wisdom. And you see, wisdom it's not something that you will get from school. The way the Chief Justice Odochi handled the political pressure, the way Justice Bart Katulebe handled the political pressure, is not the way Chief Justice
Alfonso Winnie Dolo
is handling. You see, there is an element of wisdom. I mean, I'm not saying that he's not wise, but the way all those Chief Justices have handled and succumb to the political pressure is different. For example, if you look at I will still refer to what Professor Kanyihamba said, that they were threatened. Even they told them that if you rule against the president, we shall be forced to declare military rule. So you see, that's a fact. But the way they handled that situation, the public even didn't know that thing happened. But the way Justice Dolo, of course, handled
such a issue,
and you see, it was very ugly and nasty, and of course it damages the reputation and the image of the judiciary. And I don't blame society if it condemns the judiciary right now. And of course, going back to the topic of the day, that Parliament is not even seeing any justification of increasing the number of justices. It's saying that the number that you have, the quality is there, but you're not using it.
Councillor Barije,
yes,
the regional courts of appeal that we want, all of us, those that are interested in this particular sector. Now, if at all you don't empower that motivation of having this division and regional offices for the Court of Appeal, then how will you be able to bring justice closer to the people of Uganda?
Okay, I tried to carry out a diagnosis and a probable cure to the backlog with the limited number of justices, which in my thinking it's enough. let's assume there are 12 justices in the Court of Appeal. Let's take it as our case study right now. There are 12 justices. Assuming the panel is divided into 6. 6. So in there, we have 2 panels. And each panel handles 2 cases a day. Those are 4 cases per day. For 6 months, how many cases would that be? And let all of them go for leave in the same month. We know that in the month of November and December, the Court of Appeal is on leave. The only challenge is they go for leave in different months and also workshop in different months. But we can decide to create a special holiday for them. Yes, so that the performance rate is high. Because these people can do, they really can perform. The only challenge is now, how are they managing the court itself? The court is being mismanaged, not by the quality of justices, but the way they conduct their business.
Okay, let's stop for a break. When we come back, the final lap of the show. Keep the messages coming through because we're still here for a few minutes before we close the show. Good morning.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music. Great friends.
Hey, wake up. Please wake up.
Okay. I've woken up. Must you bang those posts as if you're in a boarding school?
Sorry about that, but you were not waking up.
My head is even paining. Now you see, you've woken up the baby.
Hey, sorry, but I'm looking for my gumboots. Where are they?
Your gumboots? I don't know. Maybe you check under the bed. Mama, baby, sorry. Sorry, baby, don't cry.
Oh, okay. I've seen them.
But where are you going with them at this time?
Hey, didn't I tell you? Our MP is organizing a community cleaning exercise. We are going to clean the road all the way from the primary school up to the mango tree near the church.
Wow.
And next week, we are all going to go and support the new immunization program that the government has launched in our area. The MP said we should all participate.
Members of Parliament mobilize constituents to support government programs and campaigns. They also mobilize constituents for development purposes and programs intended to improve their standard of living. Your Member of Parliament is your representative. Make your voice heard.
This message is brought to you by the Parliament.
Give the little ones a DSTV holiday. So much more entertainment. It's a DSTV holiday. Enjoy a very DSTV holiday. Enjoy a very DSTV holiday for everyone.
A very DSTV holiday to you and your family. Stay connected to DSTV family at only 64,000 shillings and have a good time together like never before this festive season. DSTV Uganda. It's your moment.
DSTV Uganda is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Ohurikiriza program Deep Zone na DJ Truth. Teresimu wabo inekizibu niko base kutunga kugarukwamu.
Iwe Truth, muginomushi abonire nasesya ayinobwenje narebukaje konka.
Nikizibu kimugenzi wanje.
Eminwa yeye eturesha tukire. Ebijerebi tubyine mishatuka konke mishatuka.
Reka kugambira amazima mugenzi wanje. Ecyari kwetenga ni vasiri kandi ejyo minwa nebigeri nibyija koroba nkenda yo mwereye. Emyaka igana 40 n'umushobeho vasiri netwire netambira abantu mubiri. Obwa hati eriho mubikanka pure jelly, baby jelly, kokuwa butter, hamwe n'amajuta g'abasheija gatari go muringo gumwe. Yatungira amajuta ga vasiri nerizoba kwabase kumanyamana gakutamba.
Spreading all the love and wishing you a happy weekend. This is Western Uganda's biggest radio, 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music, great friends.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
On the final lap of the show, about 14 minutes to the top of the hour on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music, good friends. My name is Wes Gebanyaji. The panel is here. Isaac Barije, lawyer, and Bwenje Dos did it. He's also a lawyer. Peter Mpaka, member of the National Unity Platform, and Asimwe Panjisi, member of the National Resistance Movement. Before we engage another topic, let me read some of the feedback on the topic that we've been discussing this morning. Levis Mukamat Kwase, who is in Kakoa, is saying the decision to increase the number of Supreme Court justices in Uganda is a complex one, as it depends on various factors, such as the workload of the court, the efficiency of its operations, and the need for timely and fair adjudication of cases. Increasing the number of Supreme Court justices can have both advantages and disadvantages. Some advantages dispense diverse perspectives in that bench, in a larger bench. There can also be a broader range of opinions, perspectives in decision making, potentially contributing to those balanced and comprehensive judgments. On the other hand, there is also potential disadvantages of increasing. But again, before the increased emphasis should be put on the lower courts to ensure they do a serious work in terms of genuine and timely judgment. Thank you, Levis. Gilbert Shuttle, thank you so much for catching the show, and there's so many of you that are locked on your radio. But don't forget to come on the 9th of December at Las Vegas Hotel for the Ultimate Cruise Experience. I have teacher Mike Nwomanya who is saying, well, thank you. You're catching the show, I believe. Let's engage something else. Bwenje, the report was presented before Parliament. Yes. What do you think of the report?
I think a week ago when I was here, I made the statement that the opposition MPs should end their boycott because it was not based on principle. I think it was based on emotion. Because the Parliament is not responsible for the disappearance of people. What arm is responsible is the executive arm of government, and Parliament has done its part. It has demanded accountability from the executive. Now, as to whether the executive has provided that accountability or not is not the fault of Parliament, and even Parliament cannot dictate the contents of the report. So I think the opposition MPs should divert their attention and mistrust of government from Parliament to the institutions of government, of the executive. So they should attack executive institutions and not Parliament, because Parliament is not an agent of the executive. It cannot be blamed for the torture unless Parliament has given a soft spot for the executive arm of government. And I'm happy they came back. But the report which was delivered by Honorable Muhozi, I think it has nothing there. We don't see our people there. We don't know where our people are. The Honorable Tebarama is missing. And
but the reasons that were given for failing to cooperate, especially by the next of kin of these people, some of them refused to make statements.
Yeah, no, you see,
some of these cases were not reported to police. Some of the reasons that the general gave.
You see, those statements by him speak to the fact that the people of Uganda no longer have faith in the police.
Oh, okay.
So when you see the police officers disguising themselves as staff of NGOs in order to extract information from people, then it means that the common person, the wananchi, have no faith at all.
Thank you, Council.
In the people.
And
I want to encourage the executive to look for our people, because it is their duty. We pay them to prevent disappearances, especially forced disappearances of people.
Thank you, Council Bwenze. It was an honor hosting you this morning. Yes, Asimwe Bandusi.
Thank you. I will start by setting the record straight on the issue of MK movement or the MK project. Listen, when you ask, always listen. Listening is a key trained for all successful people. This impunity, we don't encourage it and we condemn it in the strongest terms possible. But not every... Listen, not every person that has a sticker of Muhozi is a genuine, legit supporter of Muhozi. Some criminals are using it.
Then listen, the whole thing should be stopped.
That's what I'm saying. Listen.
Yes. By public perception
We know that land grabbers come with the stickers.
It's
of
on record. Some thugs were arrested and arraigned in courts of law, having their vehicles covered by the MK sticker, and the law should prevail. So don't blame us in any way. I, for one, I support Mulheuzi, but I've never ever covered my number plates with.
But
and
what
I
should make
still
that
say,
easy
so
is for the good general to come out and say,
he has said
all
it.
my legitimate
He has said it.
supporters.
He has been on record saying it. He has said it.
If Wesigye Banyaji, who is
Banyaji
not anywhere close to power,
has
supporters
and followers.
How about
MC
the first
Kachache
part?
the other day were full at Timbara University, and he's an ordinary Ugandan. So,
okay.
Two, back
Conclusion.
to our topical discussion. The two of them, I'll first conclude the issue of the judiciary. Honestly speaking, the people serving in the judiciary are Ugandans. Whatever they do wrong, they should be apprehended as individuals and held accountable, because we are paying our money to sustain them. And we expect justice to be served timely, because a delay in serving justice, that's an injustice.
Okay.
The issue of the missing persons report, General Honorable David Muhoozi gave a thorough report. They did a good job. The issue
But they didn't present the missing person.
Of John Chibarama. This is someone that left his home going to Makerere to defend his census. They found his car with a laptop, with an iPad, with a phone. Everything was there. There are no witnesses. Then on the issue of Ugandans not trusting police, it's not true. It's stage managed by these political actors in opposition. This is what happens. Some of their records were falsified. Originally, the list had over 200 something. Right now, we have about 18. So when they get people, they train them, rehearse. Police we naja gambo muntu bamutwara ABCD. But police, as a professional security agents, they had to disguise as NGOs personnel to get the information that they had to get for the good of our country.
Thank you,
and finally, whether you're in NRM or MK movement or NUP or DEEP, no one is above the law. So no one will hide under the disguise of politicking while breaking the law.
Thank
if
you,
you break
Asimwe
it, they apprehend you.
All right, thank you. Peter Mpaka. In a second, sir.
Really? I really want to appreciate our listeners who have listened in and kept tuned in since 9 up to this time. And one of them is Kanyes Generson here in Kakoba.
And I got people in Ishaka that appreciated the two of you for doing a very good job, I must tell you.
Thank you.
Right.
And you're welcome. So for me, two parting shots. One on the judiciary that we have discussed quite extensively, that don't wash your dirty linen again in public before our own eyes. If you have administrative issues, if you have Chisache, I also read a statement that Chisache fought Mike Chebita out of office of Supreme Court administration. If you have all those wrangles, that is your dirty linen. Find a wise way of handling those small foxes in your
but for
section
me,
there.
the whole Supreme Court problem, I think, is with the president. Why didn't he appoint Chisat as Chief Justice? She was the longest serving member of the bench.
And it has been practiced. And it was the practice. It was the practice.
Thank you.
It was the practice prior.
Okay, thank you.
Then on the missing persons, you know, of course, I have to talk about the missing
Time is
persons.
fast spent.
Number one, I want to really thank the prudence of the speaker in being able to bite her own words and being able to call herself in order, because she was starting to issue threats, but she later realized that she's in a tight corner and she also has to represent the people. Now, I want to go so much into detail. Me, I'm going to wait for the statement of the rebuttal, actually, of the leader of opposition on Tuesday in Parliament. And then from there, but I think we have the junta in their neck and they are feeling the heat of the day.
Okay, thank you, Peter Mpaka. Yet our guest, your parting shot.
Okay, thank you so much, our dear listeners. Thank you so much, CROOZE FM. My closing remarks, one, on the report, the missing persons report.
Mm.
I want to thank the Honorable Minister of State
for Internal
Affairs, Honorable General Mohozi. In my opinion, the report is convincing somehow, because of course he pushed holes into the allegations by the opposition. For example, there is no evidence that these people are missing and that the due process was followed. They didn't report anyone to police. You see, it's not a matter of just claiming that we don't trust police. Do you have evidence to that? At least if they had case references to show that they had reported these persons are missing, that would be good. Then, also, I want to thank the opposition also, the way they handled the whole situation. Although legally they were wrong to attack Parliament, but politically they were right.
Thank you, Councillor Badije, for taking time to join us this morning. Thank you, Asimo Banjizi. Thank you, Councillor Bwenze. Thank you, Peter Mpaka. Let's meet next Saturday on the Big Set. My punchline this week is, please, if it's not safe when it's not on, wear condoms. AIDS is real. Good morning.
The views expressed on this program